He's a pretty boy. He's a pretty boy, white cat.
Look, the best cat is Luna, followed very closely by Rhett Butler.
Welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Sailor Moon podcast.
Listen. We're also talking about Harry Potter.
Wizarding!
Finding something by daylight, something else by moonlight.
Love by moonlight, right?
Winning love by moonlight.
Yes. Fighting love.
No, wait a minute.
Wizarding by moonlight.
Fighting evil by moonlight.
You're
winning
definitely
love by
Mars.
Daylight. Is that right?
That sounds accurate.
Yeah, she's probably Mars.
Pokemon.
She could be Jupiter. But Jupiter's not. Jupiter's
Alright,
more
we don't
even
give no one
tempered
go
than Mars.
ja.
Can
Is that Star Wars
Can
talk?
I be the
You speak Star Wars?
Solo.
Uta bingy bangy bongy.
down, Chris.
I see that.
Yeah, see a lot.
There's going to see a lot of that.
Yep.
We have turned the gain.
The gain is
Very
like
far down.
almost as far down as it can go on this microphone. It should be noted.
We
Anyway.
still clip constantly. Hello, and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast.
Ooh.
We're on episode, I've lost count, 128, is that right?
Yep.
Woo! Damn.
As usual, I am Ames.
I am Caitlin, per the usual.
Jake.
I suppose I shall continue to be Chris.
And I am Justus.
Y'all remember Justus? He's here again.
Yeah,
Go
sorry.
figure. Now, I know last week we promised that we'd cover Rightful Heir and Second Chances. And that's still true. But we also realized that Justus was going to be here, and that next week is a season wrap episode. So we're going to cram Timescape into just for fun.
Bonus
Enjoy.
round!
Buckle up, motherfuckers. This is gonna be a shit show.
What?
That's a
How
good
is
one.
that?
I mean, they're all...
We're gonna turn
Episodes.
we're gonna turn the Rossi clock on overdrive,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know how that's gonna work.
10 minutes a show.
Hey Google, make the clock go faster.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Yeah.
You realize,
No one does.
when you tell Google to do things on the podcast.
Oh my God.
And then I listen to it at home. She responds to the podcast.
That's because she knows me.
True. All right, Rightful Heir.
Rightful Heir, which one is this? This is the one with Kahless, that's right. So, Worf is having a sad because he's afraid that he's no longer religious enough to be a Klingon or some shit.
But mostly because he has an awful son.
Oh, well, yeah, everyone would
He
be.
totally forgot about that kid months ago.
Yeah, he did.
We don't even see Alexander
don't.
this episode. He's forgotten him again.
He fucking goes on a who knows how long months retreat to find his religion. Alexander's just like, Dad? Sorry, Ames, go ahead.
This kid is just living in
This
Troy's
after he
quarters.
went to go rescue those Klingons,
Yep.
and was like, "Yeah, I'll take the death penalty."
Father of the Year.
It would be better.
Fabulous. Yeah, so Worf is having a crisis of faith.
Of the heart.
And yeah. You haven't even seen the fucking thing.
I know, and I'm not looking forward to it.
No, you shouldn't. And Picard says, well, why don't you go on some kind of pilgrimage to the Temple of Boreth and see if you stare at a fucking, firelight long enough, if Kahless appears to you. So basically, he's the Red Woman from Game of Thrones now? I don't fucking know.
Oh, Captain Melisandre.
I don't get the reference.
Chris doesn't get the reference for once. Good.
Wait a minute, though.
This is what it's like to be you!
Yeah.
Captain Picard is the one who suggests he goes. Does that mean he's fucking in on it the whole time?
Yeah, Picard is the one that revitalized Kahless. So, after a while of dithering around, Worf looks up and sees Kahless, and then they realize, oh wait, this isn't just a fucking vision. This is an actual fucking guy. You started the fucking timer very late, Jake. Don't you point at me. I know, overdrive. I'll get to it. So, Kahless is actually here. Is it actually resurrected Kahless? Gowron seems to think no, because Gowron continues to want to be in charge. Go fig. Worf flip-flops back and forth on whether he believes Kahless or not, or whether he believes Koroth, the High Priest, until Koroth admits to him, oh, yeah, he's a clone that we kind of made in a petri dish and wiped his memories and kind of rebuilt some so that he'd be like Kahless-like. That's cool, right?
And nobody was more surprised or sadder than Kahless. You mean I never did all those things I remember?
He just kind of took it in stride, I guess. So Worf says, well, that's different from what everyone was expecting, but maybe it can work out for everyone if you make him emperor. And Gowron is like, there's no fucking such thing anymore. And they're like, exactly. so it technically means nothing.
He'll be a figurehead.
This is exactly the plot to Star Wars Episode 3. There's clones, and then somebody gets declared emperor, and that's really all I remember of that movie.
Yep, same movie.
I don't think they slaughtered lots of kids in this.
So that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, so they decide Kahless is a thing now. And I'm sure we'll meet him many more times.
Do we ever see him again?
I don't think we do.
Damn it, Star
No, we
Trek!
We definitely do.
Oh, do we?
It's too bad.
I don't remember. I just can't remember it.
There's an episode of DS9 where they go on an adventure to retrieve something of Kahless's. I don't remember if we actually see Kahless. I'd see
the
him.
Lance of Longinus.
I had totally forgotten that Kahless had come back at all. And this episode,
You'd think it would be very, very important because he's like the founder of Klingon ideology. He's basically Surak to the Vulcans.
Jesus came back,
Yep.
and we were just like, well, yeah, that kind of happened, and we just totally forgot about it.
Make him president, and then forget him.
Make him emperor.
It's a little.
We make him pope.
It's a little less Jesus. It's more Arthur.
Fair, yeah.
Who admittedly, obviously, there was a lot of Jesus stuff crammed into Arthur, but
Arthur's a fictional character.
so is anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this Aardvark comes back.
Does the fist thing. All right, so I have a few problems I want to get out of the way.
Arthur was fisting.
That's what I heard.
No, never mind. Clenches it. Anywho, so I have a few.
You don't want to clench when you're fisting.
I'll send you some memes, Caitlin. You'll get it.
I have a few problems right off the bat. One, stupid pedantic problem, I don't care. There is no way the turbo lift is that big.
What?
When the shift is starting, like 800 people just spill out of the turbo lift onto the bridge.
It's a clown car.
Yeah.
It's a clown
Actual
lift.
problem. Okay, what the fuck is up with everyone? Worf is late for work for the first time in his career, and everyone loses their shit. Like
Yeah,
Riker,
dude, what the fuck?
Riker's
Picard
like,
is such a douche.
Riker is like, oh, Mr. Worf, something must be wrong. Now you think, all right, I've just tried calling my friend. He's not responding. He's in his quarters. My first instinct would be, medical team, follow me. Instead, he's all, security! And then, yes, Picard is like, what the fuck, Mr. Worf? Like, he's been so understanding about so much Klingon bullshit up till now. This is his line. It's like, look, I can put up with you nearly causing an international incident by murdering the fuck out of Doras while on duty, but open flames in your quarters, sir!
It
It
no
just seemed a
fire
bit
suppression on the ship.
Do you see how all those peaks are happening, by the way? That's how loud you are.
You see how loud it is when Caitlin and I talk?
And we're loud
Compared.
motherfuckers. We're pretty loud fuckers.
Hey, guys. Hey.
We're cool now.
I'm
We're
just trying
cool
to
now.
register.
What was your other complaint, Chris?
Yeah, what was the last complaint?
Oh, mostly that. It was just
I thought
the...
you were 3.
No,
I
I
said 2.
I said a couple. And the
Oh.
first was the jokey clown car turbo lift.
But yeah, like, Worf... I mean, I would probably be like, somebody's tried to kill Worf.
Yeah.
That's why I would go with the security team.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Now, they
I just
realized...
assumed he was taking a dump. What's the problem?
Hang on, so they realized he was gone, so a replacement came instead. Was that right? Somebody else was there?
I think there was the night shift.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
last
he was supposed to relieve
and he was
that
supposed
guy.
to leave. Okay, I got you now. Okay.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be relieved, and he was stuck at work.
That guy's like, come on, fuckhead, I want to go to sleep.
I gotta pee.
Got a hot date.
They
with
don't have a chair for me, so I have to stand
Stacey,
for
what was her
6
name?
hours. Or no, they're on a three rotation. I have to stand for 8 hours straight.
Are they?
Why don't they have a fucking chair for war?
Just like a stool.
Yeah, a fucking stool.
Like a
So-
lean to.
What's funny is not that long ago I watched a video, I'll see if I can find it, that documented
Chrissy,
all
that was
the
her
there we go. All the changes to the Enterprise D
knows.
bridge over the years. Because there were quite a few more than even I realized. But they kept making a joke about how there was never a chair for the
I
security.
think he does get one in
Generations he gets a stool, yeah. Which I'd never noticed until the video pointed it out, so...
But yeah, no, I mean, seriously.
You've got to be ready
What
to
a
go
shit
at a
job.
moment's notice with this
That's what
job.
I was thinking, honestly. Like,
And to be fair, if you're going to be the head of security, you have to be able to stand for 8 hours.
Well, that's the thing, though.
People be beaming themselves onto the fucking bridge from nowhere all the time.
The
You
tactical-
better not have to stand up.
But the tactical officer isn't necessarily the chief of security. It just happens to be the case here and in Voyager. You really think you'd make sure those were separate people? But whatever.
No, because if you know tactics, you know how to hit a guy.
The more I think about this, the less sense it makes. It's like, I need you to understand space combat versus I need you to be the head of the MPs.
Also, it's also kind of like, not just that, it's like, hey, we're in a battle. We need the tactical officer on the bridge shooting the guns. But, oh shit, we're being boarded. We need somebody to go handle the boarding party.
Yeah.
You know what
the
the
same
problem
guy.
is that everybody who wrote Star Trek is the kind of person who's never won a fight in their life. So they assume
True.
that anybody who has ever won a fight can win any kind of fight.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Except Worf, who loses practically every fight he's ever been in.
He
With,
really
with barrels.
Listen, he almost beat the shit out of Kahless until
true.
Kahless started rallying everybody around being Klingon. Basically, like what Takuvma did, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Kahless was,
Whoa.
Kahless was kind of a dick.
Dude.
Well done.
Seriously, that was good. But also, like, they need to really work on those teeth. That shit ain't
I
right.
think they fixed him up a bit.
No, it's definitely better this season. But
Yeah, that was a good ploy by Kahless, though. Also, the whole,
I'm gonna get my ass handed to me. Let me sing a song.
Although, also proving to Worf, yes, Klingons do smile. This guy's all about, where's the joy of being Klingon? It's like, I like this guy.
yeah, but also, like, there's
He's
some
so
serious, like, you're a Vulcan vibes about that somehow. Like,
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I know we've met Kahless before in Savage Curtain, in TOS,
sounds like a term.
and if he's also like the guy who founded something happened to Justus.
Caitlin
Somebody
happened to
mumbled.
Justice. What
She
did
said, you said
Savage
Savage Curtain, and she said, that sounds like genitals.
That's what Klingons call it. Instead of roast beef curtains, they call it
Yeah.
savage
Oh, God.
curtains.
Go on, Ames, please,
Fabulous.
quickly.
So he's the founder of the Klingon Empire. The Klingon Empire is all about honor and beating shit up. Why have all these fucking comedy shows and laugh a minute nighttime?
No, but they are, because every time they meet, even if they're enemies, they have a good laugh about all the fighting they did. Every time
Yeah.
you've ever seen Klingons in their off hours, they're like punching each other and laughing hysterically and having a good time. So
Yeah.
I don't know what sort of he's talking about. I mean, yeah, Worf objectively has the biggest stick up his Klingon rectum.
Two
But-
sticks.
Both ends of the bat lift.
Well, also, like, this is like a fucking... This shrine or whatever is like the planet of the Worfs. Because everybody that's here they're basically, like, the most religious
They're
people.
Orthodox Klingons,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
So
They
they're-
take that
they're-
shit real serious.
They
like.
read their Bible and think every word actually happens,
is-
even the ones that contradict the other ones.
I
And
bet they don't
and-
vaccinate those fuckers.
And in this case, even the ones that are
No, that doesn't have
that
honor,
are like
Caitlin.
ridiculous. So like,
Who knows?
so the conceit here is that the priests, what was this guy's name?
Koroth.
Koroth.
Why do they all have the same names? All of them.
The priest at this
that
temple
racist?
They're all rough.
cloned Kahless from some kind of a sample of DNA, and then programmed him with all of the stories from the Bible, so that he
And made some up because, like when they said, "Oh, do you know where you got this knife or something?"
It's not that he made some up. It's that
They were looking for details,
They had like
right?
They had like
it was a shibboleth.
things that were like secret tomes that they don't give away to the public.
Oh, okay.
And he had information from that because they programmed him with that information.
Yeah, and they were using it basically as a shibboleth to be like, okay,
What's a shibboleth?
a shibboleth in the actual Bible, in the human Bible,
The real Bible.
the true Word of God. There's
true word of
there's
chaos.
these, I can't remember who it was, but there's these two warring factions, and one of them defeats the other one, and then they're holding this like bridge or something, and the other ones are, and then they're like, but there's a dialect difference. So like there's a word shibboleth, but the guards knew that if you were truly one of our people, you would pronounce it shibboleth, but if you were from the other team, the other faction, you would pronounce it Sibboleth. So
It's
so they would ask everybody to come across the bridge to say the word Shibboleth, and if they said it Shibboleth, they got through, and if they said Sibboleth, they got killed.
like in Inglourious Bastards, where they do the
Oh, yeah,
German
yeah,
3
the
versus
3,
the
yeah.
USA 3.
So that's what they were doing with. So like they had these secret stories, so that they, if the real Kahless would know them, but the fake Kahless
What
would
does
not.
the word translate to?
I don't remember.
Okay. I hope it's like Taco Tuesday.
It just
or something.
it's come
Just
to
actually means bridge.
it's come to mean that just that
Yeah.
something that's like gives away whether you're truly who you say you are. But anyway,
You
whatever.
know, the Sneeches just had stars upon theirs. It was way easier that way.
Well, that's why I always butter my bread on the bottom side.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only right
You
way.
fucking freak.
So what I was going to say, though, is that they programmed him with all these stories, including the sword story, without any regard for, wait a minute, can you actually forge a sword from hair? Maybe we shouldn't put that one in just because, like, that's total bullshit. Like, this is, because the whole idea is, like, Kahless apparently is a real person, a real mortal person.
Sword
Yeah.
figure, yeah.
He's not a wizard that can turn hair into steel.
Can he turn hay into gold?
Only
Maybe.
if you
Only
know
if you
his
speak
name.
his name.
Oh my god, can Justus always be on this show?
I could be on this one and the next one.
Oh, okay, fair enough, I guess.
But you'll have to come back next week.
I will come back next week.
That's the plan.
So yeah, I don't know. It is kind of silly in the fact that like that was the story. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Everything within this episode was kind of silly.
I'm sort of amused by the idea that they were like, look, Worf, who's to say that when he said he'd be back, he didn't mean he'd be cloned? And it's like, I mean, that's kind of fair. Also, do you think the only reason the Klingons bothered inventing space travel was to get to that star?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I did always kind of wonder, like, I always tried to picture Klingon Zephram Cochrane. You know, like, and it's like, how does that happen? It's
I
like,
always just assumed that they took the technology from people that visited them. I think that I seem
People
to
who
remember
didn't
there
have
was.
a
I don't know
prime
if this is. I
directive.
don't know if this is like beta canon, but if I recall, there was like there's story about an oppressive race that had like conquered the Klingons and kept them in under basically, and then what I always understood the story was that Kahless was the one that defeated them. And then,
So you're saying he's
And
kind
then
of
they
almost
kind of
like
reversed engineered
and then they
stuff.
reversed
Yeah.
engineered the technology from that.
feels like a Moses story almost.
Yeah, it's kind of a Moses-y thing.
It's certainly...
Let my people go, Kahless.
That's really good. That's really good.
When Discovery premiered, I was like, I'm going to make fun of this so much. Oh, to Kufma.
Seriously,
One
really
thing-
good.
One thing that did bother me was that, like, they couldn't even be asked to kind of, like, this is a real world issue, not an in-universe one, but, like, they couldn't even be asked to put some weathering on the Batleth. It's like, this is supposed to be the original Batleth.
It's not, because there's a whole... And that goes back to the DS9 episode that I mentioned.
It goes forward to the DS9 episode.
The DS9 episode is they literally go to recover the actual sword of Kahless, which looks
okay.
nothing like that Batleth. I mean, it looks like a Batleth, but it looks like a primitive
Yeah, like, I should
Batleth, and it's
imagine...
really just made out of
very
hair with a
angry
ton of
with
hairspray in it.
Okay. Because that was when, like, I'm sitting there and I'm like,
That
okay.
weapon would
we have
defeat
to-
me without ever making a swing.
We have
That's
to get
fucking
the Aquanet
disgusting.
of Kahless.
Yeah, 'cause I'm, like, sitting there and I'm just like, that doesn't even look old.
No, it's just the same prop from Worf's
Yeah,
quarters.
and I was just like, I mean, come on, you couldn't have... I mean, I get that maybe you want it to be plain, because you're doing the whole, this is the cup of a carpenter thing, but it could still at least look like it wasn't made a week ago.
Maybe Koroth has been cleaning it.
He chose poorly.
He's going to want this clean when he gets back.
I left your things just as you left them. No, wait, you left them covered in blood. I did not leave your things as you left them.
Where's my hair sword?
I'm sorry, I'm too busy just picturing generations of Klingons peppily cleaning a Batleth like you just did. Now do it with the voice. Be peppy with that voice.
Oh man, I don't know if I can do both of those at the same time.
Well, it's okay. This is radio. No one else will know if you're
Yeah.
not actually shining the backlight. P.S. That sounds like a term for masturbation.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Anyway.
Let's see. Oh, what joy!
I love it.
I'm happy.
All right, so Koroth,
Yes.
this priest guy,
He's
This
the
fucking
worst.
guy.
he clones a Kahless. That seems really fucking dishonorable, dude.
Well, like I
It
said,
seems like you should be kicked out of your priesthood.
And he didn't just clone it for, like, having a Kahless around. He cloned it specifically so
Yeah.
that he could take over the Klingon Empire.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he told the clone he was a clone and not the real thing. So really, he should make another one.
Yeah,
Oh,
like that's...
Jesus, but what would they do with the other one?
He can run a Klingon Pizza Hut.
There's no honor in that. You slime.
Oh, no.
How dare you?
Running a Klingon Pizza Hut involves so much killing.
We've got cock. So much cock.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Did I have other notes?
So this episode for me, like, I kind of liked the idea, but for reasons I can't put my finger on, I felt the execution was slightly lacking.
I just was kind of nonplussed by it mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad episode.
No.
But it's
Yeah.
just, it doesn't, what it could be is much more, and it just doesn't hit that point.
Yeah.
You know what really doesn't hit for me is Worf goes to Data, like how Data went to Worf during
Yeah.
Birthright about talking about his hair or something. No. Like Dream Quest. He went
Yeah,
to
yeah.
talk about Dream Quests. And Worf goes to Data being like, man, I'm having this crisis of faith and I don't know what to do. And Data says, well, I was having a crisis of faith once when I was trying to figure out if I was a real boy or not. And I decided to take a leap of faith and assume I was. And I'm thinking to myself, Data, this anecdote isn't applicable really here. This is a stretch even for you.
Also, like 10 minutes ago, you were saying you didn't understand the concept of faith, so what the fuck? Do you not understand faith, or did you take a leap of faith? Make up your mind, you
Well-
blinkered jack-in-the-box.
No, but having understood what faith is, now
he installed
has
the
a
faith
name
program.
You could say that he had faith of the heart.
No one would ever fucking say that.
Recently, I listened to you do the whole Home Improvement theme on one of these episodes.
What?
You realize that, like, I started like listening to an episode, and it just opens with you just doing the Home Improvement theme. Do
Yes,
you
it
recall
does.
doing
does.
that?
Yeah, I've heard
I
this.
forgot about that.
I don't even know the Home Improvement thing.
Did
You do the whole Home Improvement theme. You didn't just do the like da 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 da. Oh, you started at the beginning. You did all the hammer beats. It was everything. This is a good use of our red time.
You're kind of like how sometimes characters...
Why is that in an episode of our show?
Another one
I was gonna say, now it's
I love.
for the
You're like,
same
I don't
reason,
even know the
Jake.
theme. It's almost like how characters in TV sometimes have like they have knowledge they forgot things. Like,
But I don't
wait a
even
minute.
know how to speak Spanish.
But like you have the shittiest version of that. It's like, you don't know kung fu or like Spanish. You know the fucking Home Improvement theme, even though you don't know the Home Improvement theme. What a terrible power you have.
You must have been Home Improvement in a previous life.
When his secret trigger, his Manchurian Candidate trigger goes off, he just does the Home Improvement theme.
I get out like a big rifle and I put it together and I'm like lining up the shot and then someone says the trigger and I go,
It's pretty fucking good.
We clearly loved this episode.
I think it was fine, but like
It was fine,
Yeah,
It,
like
it went right in my map pile.
Yeah.
very
just
middle of the
don't-
road.
I just don't I don't want religion in my normal life. I definitely don't want it in my fucking genre.
well, then
fiction.
you should not
Watch DS.
DS9 because DS9 is all about religion.
It's super full of religion, but it's
Is it really?
but
usually
it
handles
also
it
it's
well.
there like it really does run the gamut of good and bad in religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So before we move on to the next one, one last thought I had was You know, when Kahless is leaving at the end, he's beaming out. He holds his hand up and he waves. And I was like waiting for him to whip out the Vulcan salute because it looked like he was about to. And I just wanted more. That's not us. That's the. Oh, they'll tell him.
That was it was the thing that the Templar did in.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, just kind of this solitary little.
Last Crusade.
Yeah,
the thing was collapsing.
Return to the Last Ark.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ivanhoe.
that one.
What?
So from one clone to another.
Yeah, let's move on.
Moving on to Second Chances. Here's a quick summary of Second Chances, which probably won't be that quick.
No, here's the actual summary.
Here's the
fan fiction. There we go.
What?
Perfect.
I liked Second Chances. But
No,
anyway.
I just mean, I did too. But...
Okay, all right.
Go on.
Actually, before I launch in, I'm just going to read this line from my notes. The working title was Too Many Rikers. With
Wait.
two.
Really?
One Riker!
Spelled
One bridge!
TWO. Two many Rikers.
Many Rikers.
I can't tell if you're aghast or exuberant, Chris.
I'm so happy. There's an episode of Get Smart where some chaos agent who's like the world's greatest like makeup man stroke impersonator impersonates the chief. So there's this whole to-do where, you know, of course they're both just played by the guy that played the chief. And Max is running around and this and that. And there's eventually a moment where he's, you know, there's like gas is flooding this compartment. But it's okay because Max has a gas mask hidden in a derby. But of course he somehow wound up in a car where like a hat box fell over and there's like 13 derbies in the room. So it involves him like pulling the derby on because activating the gas mask involves him yanking the brim down and the mask sort of collapses. But of course when it's not the right one, he just rips the brim off. And he ends up wearing it as a collar. And this led to, when we were watching the episode one time, just sitting there going, because the episode's called Too Many Chiefs.
How's two spelled?
You know, I don't know. I hope it was TWO.
I don't think it was.
But either way, just going, this led to years of us going,
too many derbies!
Not enough chiefs! So it's a completely personal anecdote, but
Yeah,
that's
I was
why
gonna
I'm
say,
so excited.
there's your super awesome inside joke for the week.
Yeah, sorry, I realized as I was... It's still... Go watch Get Smart, everybody. It's a great show.
Get Smart is great.
It is
It's
good.
been too
Very,
long
very
since I've
good.
watched
Mel
Get Smart.
Brooks,
Yeah.
which a lot of people don't know.
Oh, I don't personally know Mel Brooks. No, that's true. Anyway,
So
Second
yes, too many
Chances.
Rikers, not
So
enough
we're
chiefs.
Second Chances.
We're back on Second Chances. Too many chances.
Big Chungus.
Riker, like 8 years ago, was on this Federation research base on Nervala 4 that had to be abandoned due to, I wrote, disruption field that prevented transporter use. Great, that's exciting. Good for you. So here it is, 8 years later.
That again?
We're going to go back to Nervala 4 to see if we can retrieve all the data now that there's some kind of hoodly-what's-it that allows you to go down there again. And they go down there, they're looking for the what's-it.
It's like
And-
the distance from a sun, something. I don't really, some science bullshit.
Yeah, that's why I'm not synopsizing it properly. And they realize, oh fuck, someone's coming this way. Oh fuck, it's Riker. But wait, Riker's here. Now there's too many Rikers. Every time it will be great. So they realize, oh fuck. So what happened 8 years ago was when Riker was beaming away, a spare Riker was left at the base because the transporter beam was being...
It like reflected
Weird.
back off of...
Yeah, they had to
They
do
used two
they had to use
beams
two
and-
beams and one
yeah.
of them
Too many
reflected
Rikers,
back.
too many beams.
Yeah.
Which is like a horrible implication
Oh, yeah.
for the transport.
Absolutely
Yeah.
horrifying.
Yeah.
I can't
true.
believe that it never comes up again.
How
That-
many Barclays?
Yeah.
Because no one wants to fucking think about it.
Yeah.
They're just like, you know what? We were better off not knowing this.
Yeah, this is a nightmare box. Don't go in there.
Yeah, no.
So now there's a second Riker wanting to like start his life again after being alone for 8 years, which they don't address a ton.
Yeah, which is
Troi tries, but Troi also wants to bang him. So
And vice versa.
she's not quite the right person for the job of therapizing
But she
him.
fucking doesn't hesitate to offer, you know what? I'll go talk to him. Yeah.
Yeah. So meanwhile, the Riker Prime, Commander Riker, Commander versus Lieutenant Riker.
That is how they wind up.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
William and
differentiating.
Thomas.
Well, he hasn't
Yeah, you figure out at
picked
the
his
end.
name
that-
yet.
Spoilers.
Oh.
Yeah, so Commander Riker is feeling really weird about, you know, the implication of this, and, you know, he sees things in different Riker.
emotionally stunted.
Less
Riker.
mature.
Yeah, more beard Riker. Slightly different beard Riker. And the hair was different.
I didn't even notice that. How do people notice these things?
The beard
I
was
look at
pretty. The
people.
beard was pretty.
Huh?
I look at
Good.
people.
Do you?
I try not
What
to.
is that like?
Yeah, so they're trying to figure out what to do with this spare Riker. They say, okay, well, how about if we
Spare Riker.
let you bang Troi a little? Okay, let's go back down to the base and finish getting all this data. Oh no, this bridge is kerploding, and Lieutenant Riker is about to bite it, and Commander Will Riker almost lets him go, but then saves him anyway.
I
So
think he almost let him go.
Yeah, I didn't think
he
that
tried right
either.
away to save
okay,
him.
I considered it then. I considered it an awful lot. When they were both looking around being like,
Ames was definitely willing to sacrifice
this
Lieutenant
is the
Riker.
place we've got to go, huh? Look at all the things that are literally still on fire. Interesting that you would bring me down here. But they save him, and they come to realize, okay, you can still be cool. We'll just never talk again. Goodbye.
I was hoping when they went into like the basement, they'd be like, Commander Riker would be like, "Is that a sculpture of Deanna Troi made entirely of your feces?"
Oh no.
The
Really?
resemblance
That's
is
what you were
uncanny.
hoping?
I was really, I wanted to see that. Really,
Wow, that's...
What has he been doing for 8 years?
Masturbating.
Mostly
Well,
fat.
that's my biggest problem with this episode is how is he not more fucked up?
Yeah.
He should be
Like he should be
fucked
super
up.
fucked up.
Yeah,
He
I
should
was
be double
waiting
fucked
for
up
that
to,
shoe to drop for
over
sure.
over Tom Hanks from Castaway.
Yeah, I was going to
He's
say,
only
how long?
4 years.
How long?
No
It was 4
shit.
years in Castaway?
4 years in Castaway.
Yeah, he should have. In fact, he should have had a volleyball. He called Troi.
And fucked.
He
constantly.
did.
He just didn't
But
show
when
it to
when you fuck a hole into a volleyball, it deflates though. So.
Good thing there was an entire shipment of volleyballs from FedEx on that planet.
Thank God.
So,
Today was the day he ran out of volleyballs. What a fortuitous day.
he had exactly 8 years worth. So, what I'll say about this episode, this is the first time in 6 seasons I have believed in Riker and Troi as a couple.
Right?
Yeah, but Riker or Lieutenant Riker?
Oh, Lieutenant.
Okay. The one who's still kind of into her.
Yeah.
Not the
kind
one who's
of.
moved on and has banged like 30 other broads
He was
this week.
inside
Yeah.
of her immediately. He wasn't
Yeah.
just kind of into her.
He was
He
so...
was
But it
literally
was so
into her.
beautiful. He was so like excited to see her,
He was.
and oh man,
She should have gone off with him. He would
She
have
has
been...
a life here.
No, I know, and I
I
understand
mean,
that.
not
and
much of one.
I do appreciate that it was...
Just to raise Alexander.
I do appreciate
Jesus, she really should have gone off with him.
that it was framed as her being like, no, I have my own life, not some stupid reason. But
You
yeah,
know,
no,
like
it's
like women have.
And he's
Well,
gonna
like,
be
they- like,
pissed
they
when he
often-
sees Nemesis.
like they often give the women in Star Trek, especially TNG. Like, they gave her a legit grown-up reason. And thank you, writers. Thank you for treating Troi like a fucking adult.
Are they finally writing Troi well this late into season 6?
Took them long enough, but yes. But no, I really liked them together. It was like, okay, I now understand how they had been a couple. Which is, good, but really does just show all the other times where they were like, because they've been so on again, off again for
Yeah.
fucking 6 years that like when they were supposedly on again, I never bought it before. It's like, oh, why weren't you doing this in any of those episodes?
Because it's the same problem that they had in TOS with Janice Rand. Because Janice Rand was supposed to have a kind of relationship-like kind of thing with Kirk. But Kirk had to remain single so he can go off and bang his way across the galaxy.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have a ball and chain waiting on the bridge for him.
Yeah.
But they did the opposite that they did with Rand and kept Deanna
Yeah.
around to make it awkward every week.
Yeah, and they some weeks it's like, no, they're just friends. Other weeks it's like, maybe they're friends with benefits. It's so inconsistent, but...
She's a betazoid, and she probably goes through whatever that thing her mother goes through daily.
No,
She's a betazoid and he's a beta cuck.
No, he's just a
Soy boy.
fucking hornball. But yeah, no, I really liked
Oh, he made
Lieutenant Riker
Yeah,
and
he
Troi.
made that little phaser art, which I actually thought was really cool. And,
Yeah.
and another thing you can do with phasers.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
not just for coffee and heating rocks anymore.
He made her that scavenger hunt, which somehow involved him nailing something apparently to the warp core.
Without Geordi noticing.
Like, Gordo, Jesus! Like,
I want a
what the
scavenger
fuck?
hunt now.
Gordo.
The lieutenant has caused a warp core breach.
But it was for love! As the ship explodes.
I thought that was really cute too. That's the thing is, like, I know that I'm not supposed to like episodes like this because they're cheesy, but I just really loved it. I thought it was really fucking cute.
I think it was a good balance of
Yeah.
cheese, and it had some interesting stuff. And the thing is, I really, really wish they got more into the psychology of Tom Riker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
Because-
sure.
Because what is his life? Like, he admits to not Bev, Troi, the other one. He admits to Troi, like, oh yeah, I was really lonely. It goes deeper than that, writers. Fucking ask someone.
Well, here's the thing. He can't get into lengthy discussion with her about it because, like, how did you cope? I basically jerked at thinking about you every night.
He sort of does almost say that though.
Almost, but...
How did you get through? I thought of you.
So, now here's the question.
Yes.
Do you think Commander Riker at any point was like, I mean, maybe. He might be willing. She might.
Oh, no, they banged.
Willing?
No,
what?
Commander Riker.
Oh,
Getting
no.
them into a, like, clone three-way.
Dude,
No,
clone
I just assumed the two Rikers banged.
Oh!
I mean, that's just like you do a mutual thing. You're like, hey, is it the same? Yeah, we're good.
You don't gotta make it weird.
It's me. It's basically masturbation.
Yeah, we just stand in front of each other and jerk off. It's just like it being in college again.
the real...
Wow.
I was gonna say, what college do you go to? But I went to college with you.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's
wow.
the... See, here's the thing. I like to imagine there's a cutscene that explains the real reason Commander Riker was in such a mood the whole time. It turns out, some weird side effect, they're exactly identical, except Lieutenant Riker's is a bit bigger for some reason. They can't explain it. Everything
He's
else...
been jerking it
is
for
it-
so much, it's stretched out.
I don't think that's how it works, but I like where your head's at.
It's kind of like how one of Carol Burnett's earlobes is longer than the other.
Is
It's
it?
because she masturbates a lot.
Yes.
I know,
That's why?
That might be an urban myth, but so at the end of every episode of the Carol Burnett show, she would
Pull on
tug
her ear.
on one of her earlobes, like some sort of in-joke between her and her mother. And so supposedly she did it so much that eventually one earlobe was slightly...
That's when you switch to the other ear sometimes.
Yeah, well, again, it's probably an urban legend.
You know, like
but-
switching to your other hand and being like, "Ooh, there's a stranger here."
No, that's after you sit on it to make it go numb.
Yeah, you have to sit on your earlobe to make it go down.
Right. Yeah, I always forget that part.
You know that Lieutenant Riker has almost certainly jizzed on every single surface on that.
Oh,
on that
yeah.
base,
And yet
right?
he left it so clean for them.
Yeah, it's true. He's
I
tidy.
fixed this hole in the roof. Spurt, 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 spurt.
Like, why was he wearing like his old tattered uniform when they came to get him?
They
Did
said
he have
they
another
said,
one?
They said the replicators were broken. Didn't he say that?
Yeah.
But
What's he been
he
eating?
should be wearing his underwear.
His
is what I'd
feces. That's
expect.
why he couldn't make a.
They probably have, like,
Like,
rations.
Yeah.
Enough for 8 years?
If there's only one dude
I
in
mean,
a place that
imagine
was meant to have...
like if they got I don't know how many people off of this ship to begin with. He was the last one left, and
They didn't take the food with them?
and they didn't take the.
Well, you gotta take the emergency rations if you just want the, you know...
Well, they also
Yeah,
told
let's
her
say-
Plus,
eat
they
in a
did
hurry.
work for a while. So, I mean, you've got rations for God knows how many people,
okay.
intended for who knows how long.
Yeah.
You got it for one guy for, like, I think say it was 3 years ago they crapped out. So.
Yeah.
And if there was rations for 8 people to last 1 year, then he would have been fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless they go bad.
Emergency
I don't
rations
imagine
tend
in
to be...
space they go
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, it's an MRE, presumably, and those things are not meant to taste good. They're meant to be eaten.
They're
Yeah.
meant to be
And by the
technically
future,
bad.
they're probably just, like, fucking Soylent or
It's-
whatever.
It's just all astronaut ice cream. That's all he's eaten for the past 3 years.
Yep. Oh, I love astronaut ice cream now.
Or it's Dippin' Dots, but due to the
ice
fact
cream
that...
of the future.
due to the fact that, like, records got corrupted, it's been misunderstood, and everyone thinks it was Sean Spicer's favorite snack.
Oh man, where can I get Dippin' Dots?
You
Uh,
can't
Science
really
Museum?
because Dippin' Dots or
I remember they had. It
I
at
think
the
they had a
zoo.
dispenser.
There's
maybe.
dispenser. I think there's a dispenser at the Walmart that I shop at sometimes.
they're made in such a specific way that they can't just have them in stores.
No, yeah, because they need to be kept at a lower temperature than regular ice cream.
They have
Or else they melt.
like a.
Oh,
It's
no,
like
what I'm
a
saying,
soda
I'm,
machine,
no,
I think.
yeah, sure. I would like to just have like a like a Ben and Jerry's store, but a Dippin' Dots store.
Do you want to open a franchise?
I don't think it would make a ton of money.
You are correct.
You're
Dippin'
the
Dots
one
are-
buyer.
Do you want some Dippin' Dots?
Dippin' Dots is pretty good.
They used to have it like Jordan's Furniture, but I don't know if they still
The
have
Motion Odyssey movie ride.
it. Yeah.
The furniture that's actually an amusement park. But getting back to various Rikers, we meet second Riker, and they take him at his word for the most part for a while. They test him out. And yet we've seen duplicate people all the time that still match down to their DNA and shit. And Bev makes up this brain pattern, what's it? Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm not buying most of it. I'm not buying that they believe him so quickly.
You know, speaking of believable things, they really, I don't know if they had a different director or editor or somebody really fucked up with the... with the.
Do you know who directed this?
Who?
LeVar Burton!
Oh! He fucked it up. Because
wow.
Because I don't know. I thought that it was not very seamless, the interactions between
the two Rikers.
Really? I thought it was pretty good.
Like, it was no Data lore.
Like there was after each
God damn this cat.
after each one said a
Chris.
line, there was a noticeable delay before the other one responded.
Yeah, they also never fucking could look each other in the eye, because I don't know if their stand-in was an inch too short or something.
Eyeline stuff like that is really difficult, too.
Yet somehow they mastered it in Who Framed Roger Rabbit with fucking cartoons.
Well, yeah.
Well, they had...
Well, if they're drawing them on, they can match the eyeline in the cartoon.
Bob Hoskins, I watched the special features on TV. He did, like, intensive mime training for, like, months.
Yeah.
I buy that about
that
him.
movie. That movie so
right.
seamlessly blends the cartoon characters, and I don't think it's all like it couldn't have all been just animating around it. Like they did a lot of work.
Oh, so much.
So that like the cartoons are interacting with the environment, like
there
bumping
was sometimes...
into stuff, and the stuff moves.
Well, yeah, there were occasions where there was like a sort of a basic puppet rig of some sort of mechanical something that was later drawn over.
Yeah.
You don't see movies these days put the effort in that Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
No. There's a specific term for that called bumping the lamp, which is like every time.
Oh
yeah. They have the interaction between like this thing that's not on screen, but they do a physical movement on the actual stage, and it's sort of going the extra mile. Is bumping the lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The downside of all that was that Bob Hoskins may have had minor hallucinations for a few months after filming finished, but it's fine. It's fine.
No. If he was fine after that movie, it was Super Mario Brothers that really did him in.
But man, I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit with all of my heart. I remember, this is a tangent, but I was in LA and I was, with all of my like comedy friends, and they were all talking about like who is it that is like your comedy idol that you grew up wanting to be, and everybody's like rattling off their answers, and I was like, I have no idea what mine is, and it was like a week later that I rewatched Roger Rabbit for the first time in years, and I was like, oh right, I wanted to be Roger Rabbit growing up. I'm a human cartoon.
I wanted to be Eddie. I don't know what that says about me.
Eddie the car?
But it was
the
funny.
cop. The detective, rather. Bob Hoskins' character.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Eddie Valiant.
What's the car's name?
Eddie Valiant. Oh,
shit.
Gosh.
Hi, Eddie. Hi, Eddie.
Oh.
Bye, Eddie. Yeah, we'll look it up later. So, yes, Star Trek.
I wanted to be the bullets.
The bullets are
I don't know. You went that way.
Dummies.
But yes, the absolute existential nightmare that is the transporter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big problem.
It can split you into two people. I mean, it's like a two Kirks problem again.
Yep.
Only you can't smush them together because they've actually both had lives.
Yep. And I think Commander Riker, he was didn't come out of this episode looking great. He was just mostly grumpy the whole time.
Pretty big dick about the fact that he had a clone.
Yeah.
Oh, he hated it. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved. There's that
He's like,
bit.
someone else knows my secret. No.
He's gonna steal my move because he invented it just like me. But there's that moment at one point. I forget when it is exactly, but Data's talking to Worf about how basically Riker's being a crab, and he's like, it's like, what would you do if there was like another of you? And Worf says something effective like, I am difficult to get along with. And Data goes, But then Worf kind of looks at him like, you weren't supposed to agree, dickhead. I loved that.
It's especially funny that Data's also looking at this situation
Right.
because he's found a second him, effectively.
And that person is a dick.
Yes!
I mean,
He's hard to get along with.
I did think
even
about-
though he's super hot.
I did think about that too. I was like, wait, but no mention of Lore. But when you think about it, Lore is a twin, not a double.
True.
Like, it's essentially, they're the same model, but under the hood they're different.
Yeah.
Whereas, except for the fact that their lives have diverged, up until that freak accident, they were literally the same person.
But I think here's the thing. Those 8 years have made a very, very, very big difference.
Oh, yes, very much so.
And there's a lot of acting like it doesn't. It's a lot of acting like they're the same person.
Yeah.
That they would do the same, they have the same reactions, that they have the same behavior, that when they don't anymore.
No.
Their experiences have made them so different as people.
That's the thing, though. I think even though they don't acknowledge it out loud, I think the episode sort of does. Like, I think when he says to Deanna, like, come with me, I think it's much more legitimate.
Oh, it
Yeah.
absolutely is.
Yeah, and like the fact that she kind of is like, yeah, you know, the other Riker valued his career more than me, so fuck you.
Yeah.
Because that's basically, because I know,
That's
that's
what
you would do.
would have done.
That's so crazy because he literally just lived the last 8 years completely alone and like basically only surviving
Yeah.
because he couldn't wait to be, reunited with his Anxiety.
As much as I think this episode did not get marks for accuracy of his mental state, I do have to credit Jonathan Frakes with his acting because
His beard.
Yes, his beard. No, I mean, he really did
Deanna?
Ooh.
imbue younger, I'm going to still call him young Riker, because he actually seemed younger. He had way less short, like even in his facial expressions, the way he carried himself, he seemed like a much less confident, self-assured person.
There was a point where I think I commented to you while watching it, saying like, "Wow, he's literally acting like a different person."
Yeah.
And he looks like a different person. Like the beard is slightly different. I swear it's lighter, but I might just be crazy.
I think the big difference is Riker's beard kind of comes down straight and then cuts over.
Yeah.
This beard was like a regular beard, which just sort of blend. Like
How convenient that Lieutenant Riker also grew a beard.
Oh, yeah. Well, because he didn't have, like, good shaving equipment.
Yeah.
But he kept his hair
trimmed.
cut.
But I was
It's
gonna
not
say
down to his
he's really
knees.
good at cutting his hair.
He should have.
But he may have had something he could trim with, but not something he could get a good close shave with.
The top hair is fine.
But again, it's not a close. It's there's a big difference between trimming a beard and I don't shave because I cannot shave myself without cutting myself. It drives me crazy.
Though they missed a big opportunity with this too. Though is that
dicks.
yes, they should have they should
usually
have
my
docked
line.
each other.
You've been slow on the uptake here, Caitlin.
Apparently. Don't worry, I'm working on my fan fiction already.
One Riker, one Bridge.
They
I did say that. Oh,
they opened the episode with Riker doing this weird pajama-clad jazz performance.
Yes!
But there's this thing that he supposedly never had gotten right. He's been trying
Nightbird.
a Nightbird. And,
Play Nightbird,
and-
Troi, you bitch.
and the fact that they didn't have Thomas play, and that he'd been working on that section that he'd been getting wrong and getting it right this whole time to
That
really
would have been amazing.
like it would really rub in the face of Commander.
Oh, I would have liked that.
Yeah, being like he had to dedicate to his career, so he didn't have time to finish this thing, and this other guy just had nothing to do, so he fucking nails Nightbird now.
He's like Picard with his little flute.
Alternately,
I
But his is a big old trombone.
talking about that next podcast.
I in a way kind of wish now I'd been like, you know what? I spent 8 years sitting here learning how to do phaser art. I'm done with Starfleet. I'm gonna go chill on the beach and make phaser art for tourists for the rest of my life.
I'm gonna live on beaches in Ryza, and it's just gonna be pussy and art for the rest of my life.
I like to imagine him doing caricatures, but phaser art caricatures.
Ooh.
Now tell me, do you like Parisi squares?
Good.
This episode also saw lots more boy talk with Bev.
Ugh.
I appreciated though that at least like they weren't doing male gaze calisthenics this time. They were doing Tai Chi and some very nice, not
Bathrobes.
form-fitting fucking gis. Like, it's a
But
step
they
up.
looked like they were made out of towels. Their
That's what
geese.
they always look like.
They look super comfy. I'd wear that to
What
bed.
do you mean, the geese they were in the show?
Yeah.
Well, I've never noticed it before because that's not what real geese look
No,
like.
this is like
These are future!
Well, these are also these are Klingons.
That too, yes.
specifically.
Yeah,
And
but
Klingons-
why are the Klingons having the creature comforts?
Why-
So,
yeah, why-
you feel like they're gonna make
sweaty
them-
that they need the wicking action.
Yeah, but you feel like they're gonna make them out of like
steel wool?
steel wool. That's literally what I was gonna
Yeah.
fucking
A hair
say.
shirt.
Top. Hair, yes,
Yeah,
it's made out of
everything-
the fucking beard.
All the
hair in
Klingons
it.
do is make stuff out of hair.
By the way,
No, but a hair shirt's a thing.
Benny. The cab's name was
Benny,
Benny.
thank you.
Benny.
Oh, that's right.
So you want it to be Benny, is what you're saying.
No, I want it to be Eddie.
Hi, Eddie. Sorry.
I want to be Eddie's brother. I want to get his piano dropped on his Someone killed his brother, dropped a piano on his head.
I'll tell you, the only one I don't want to be in that fucking movie is
Oh,
the
the
shoe.
shoe.
Oh, the poor
Oh
shoe.
my
Oh.
god.
That is so devastating. That's
mean,
Remember,
I-
Eddie, when I killed your brother, I looked just like this!
that fucking legitimately fucking scared the ever living shit out of me as a child.
Between
He's a tomb!
between my favorite, like,
Eddie Toon.
you know, as a kid, my favorite, I mean, still is, my favorite film trilogy is Back to the Future. But, like, between Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Star Trek 3, like, on repeat in my childhood, Christopher Lloyd was, like, the biggest star in the world as far as I understood it.
Did you watch Adam's Family?
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah.
God, he was a great Uncle Fester, too.
He was.
You know, I read something that it has now been it's been longer since that movie was released today.
Adam's Family?
Yeah, the Addams Family movie, since the Addams Family and the premiere of the Addams Family TV
Wow.
show.
That's crazy.
That's how old that shit is.
Nuts.
Scary.
Wow, this is
Anything-
gonna make me feel older than Dirt Corner.
Anything else on Too Many Rikers?
It was fun.
I liked it.
That is a good episode where not a whole lot really happens.
Yeah.
But a
But-
lot happened.
A lot of interesting character stuff.
Yeah, it's really like you're not going to be seeing a lot of like. There's nothing like set piecey about it, but the whole time you're like, this is worth investing in.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
and-
could have made it a deeper dive, but
Yeah.
but I feel like they also kept it
Yeah,
enjoyable to watch instead of like
Yes.
being hammered over the head with too many Rikers.
yeah, very good. B+. We can see where you could be better, but you did a great job anyway.
Credit to whoever kept this in mind. What was left of Riker's uniform jacket was the older uniform.
Yes.
Yes.
That would have been easy to fuck up and tatter a newer one. So I appreciate that somebody somewhere went, wait a minute. Of course, they were also probably like, man, I really don't want to fuck up one of these uniforms. And somebody went, well, it should be the old one anyway. Oh, yeah! Thank God!
Kapla.
Kapla.
Anything else? Anything else? We have one
That's
more
great.
to cover still.
All
Yeah,
right,
we
let's
know what
let's
we covered.
blast through
All
this
right,
one.
let's blast through this one. This
I mean,
one's great.
this is a good one.
Well, yeah, this is also
I
the
really
most
liked
complicated
this one.
story. of the
Okay.
entire-
All right.
Well, yeah. a
Here we
little
go. Timescape. The end. I'll say this now because I'll
bit.
probably.
You can't blast through
Hey.
it if you're doing that.
Hey,
What?
Making all that fucking
Hey.
noise.
Blast through it.
I'll fucking blast
Okay.
you. I'll finger blast you. How do you like that?
Blasting your
cut all that.
I don't know, I might have to stay in now.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Ames.
so I don't want to run that long. Rossi will never listen to us if we run longer than the clock allows.
Whatever. We don't need him. We're huge.
We have his clock now.
Yeah, really. We've got all we need from him.
All right, so Timescape, directed by Adam Nimoy, because they gave him another fucking chance after the catastrophe that was Rascals.
Well, again, he didn't write the script.
Yeah.
And also, he probably did about as good as you could with that.
I would say that Rascals is well directed.
Yeah.
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 The script is just fucking garbage.
yeah.
But yeah, not his
Anyway.
fault.
Yeah, he didn't write it. So, Timescape. Things are happening. I'm going to skip most of scene 1 because
Yeah, that's fine.
because things happen on the bridge. Hey, Romulans are hailing us. Cut away. So we have Picard, Troi, Data.
Gorda.
Yes! I got someone to do it!
Yeah,
No,
Geordi
was-
and Data.
Jordy and Data, was that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Data was there?
Yep.
Great. Okay, so
How
there-
did you
The
forget?
three most important people on the ship and Troi, basically.
No, I thought you were going to say and Jordy.
My internal chronometer.
So,
I can say that.
so
Chronometer.
3 Datas and Troi is what Jake is saying. They're on a skiff of some kind coming back from a conference. They're
It's a
going-
runabout.
Sure.
We'll see a lot of them in Deep Space Nine.
They're on a skiff of some kind coming back from a conference.
They're on a boat, motherfucker.
Motherfucking boat.
Yeah.
And they're telling stories about their conference, and then suddenly, everyone just kind of stops dead. And Troi looks at everyone as they're stopped dead, as if frozen in amber.
She's like, did I just have a stroke?
Saying, okay, that's weird. And then they all, continue their conversation like nothing happened. And Troi says, that was fucking weird. And like, what? And then it happens again to Troi for like 5-10 minutes.
3 minutes, I think they said.
3.5
10
minutes.
or something.
And
10 minutes, yeah.
And they're like, okay, something weird is going on. Let's go touch these fruit that seem to be aging like ridiculously fast.
Go touch these fruit.
And they realize, okay, there's all these temporal something or others doing weird shit with time. One of our engines of this runabout has depleted of fuel because it thinks it's been going for 47 years or some days. 47 days or something. Years, Jesus Christ.
Superstar.
So they're like, well, all this weird shit's going on. Let's get back to the Enterprise, and we're at our rendezvous point, and see what the fuck is going on. They get back to the Enterprise, which is frozen in space in the middle of a battle with a Romulan ship in which time is standing still. And they say, fuck! Let's get over there. They somehow, I forget how they get over there.
Didn't they just...
They beamed
They
over.
beamed over.
They
beamed
have
over?
special armbands.
They made themselves some special bracelets.
Snap bracelets.
Some snap bracelets that'll allow them to not be affected by the time
Out of
weirdness.
But it might hurt them and make them cut their wrist by mistake. Stupid slap bracelets.
Yikes. They go over there and they see all this weird stuff. Like there's Romulans all over the bridge. Riker has fallen down to hilarious effect. Bev is in the middle of being shot by
To
a
hilarious effect.
There's all these Romulans beaming in from the transporter, and they're like, oh my god, all this weird stuff is happening. Oh look, the warp core is literally mid-explosion. And suddenly Picard has a weird moment where he's on LSD. I don't quite know what happened to Picard, but he starts a laughing fit after drawing a smiley face in a cloud, which is the best moment of Star Trek.
Old man yells
good.
at cloud.
So they say, okay, doing this time stuff is fucking with Picard. Let's not send him over there again.
Well, because they were coming from a conference that talked about the effects of like deep space travel on your brains. So I think that was sort of the feed into like the way the time is moving is fucking with their brains.
Sure, I'll allow that.
Thank you.
So as they keep looking around at things, time suddenly starts again for like 5 seconds and then goes back to where it was and freezes again. And they say, that was weird. What did you just do, Data? Data says, oh, well, I'm over in this Romulan ship. I decided to like point my phaser at their singularity, which powers their ships. And that seemed like a bad idea, maybe. Maybe I won't do that again. And then you realize, wait a minute, what if you do that again, but in a way that makes it go the other direction where we can save all of this from happening? Okay, let's try that. And they realize, okay, this all will work, except there are 2 Romulans that try to stop them from things until they realize, wait, these aren't Romulans at all. These are some kind of trans-dimensional creatures that are trying to recover a singularity so that their babies are being incubated in.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what Kelly did, right?
Yep.
With Seth?
Yep.
Sounds like the better way to do it. Except that when the Enterprise started feeding power to the Romulan ship, it was fucking up what their babies were incubating in, and thus these trans-dimensional creatures had to stop it by blowing up the warp core or some shit. Sound right?
Basically, I think so.
Yeah, so they do the thing where they make time go backwards because that's just a thing they can do for reasons.
Yeah, Star Trek.
They save Bev. Riker falls down still, to hilarious effect. And they stop, and they prevent the warp core from exploding by stopping a beam using the runabout, which was kind of genius. It looked like one of the games you play in a Legend of Zelda game. And everyone saved the day, and Picard says, man, you guys didn't know how red your faces were because you couldn't see them.
We literally molested all of you.
Mm-hmm. I really liked this episode.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's very complicated,
But I have
though.
there's a huge fucking problem with this episode. And I have to put on my glasses for a second.
I'm wearing glasses.
Well, so the issue is when they're on the runabout and Picard tries to touch the fruit,
Yes.
Data comes in or somebody comes in and says, yes, the time inside it at the point where the fruit is traveling 50 times faster than time out here. And I'm thinking, Picard had his hands in there for all of 2 seconds at most. Are you telling me that his fingernails grow half an inch in 100 seconds?
Yes. Yes, that's what they're telling you.
Who doesn't do that?
I mean, or that fruit rots in a couple,
If it's a pear.
50 times faster is very fast.
Avocados go
But
quick,
like
dude.
when
I bought so many avocados recently.
Oh.
when I'm fast
Well, it's a good
forwarding
thing, 'cause we're about to
commercials
be
on
totally out,
TV,
apparently.
I usually go at like 64x because I'm that impatient. So 50 times faster, I don't buy that.
Yeah, well.
I never
I'll
did.
buy
It
that for a
always
dollar.
that's one's always bugged me.
No,
That's
that's 2 weeks from now, Caitlin.
Fuck.
Yeah, it does look like a year and a half worth of growth on
Yeah.
his finger.
But I don't know. I mean, it's been a couple centuries. Maybe something about humanity, you know. It's one of the side effects of World War III. Like, those who lived, their nails grow really fast now.
Especially when reaching for fruit.
Yes.
There's something about that fruit, really.
Yeah.
Everybody's
know why-
Wolverine now, just shink.
I don't really understand why it seemed to like physically pain him when that happened, though.
I think it was like, I don't know, his hand was in a different time frame.
Yeah, it feels like that would
Yeah.
just hurt.
Does it? Because I feel like you wouldn't notice.
Well, it's...
Well, you don't notice your nails growing because they're growing slow. If they started growing really fast, where is the material coming from?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would just like fuck up. I think like,
They would just pop off like little rockets.
I think his hand would actually have wilted and died because his heart wouldn't have been able to provide blood to it fast enough, and
That's a good point.
Yeah,
and the
that's
cells
true.
would have just necrosified themselves.
Yeah.
What
Don't
the
think about
fuck?
it too hard, basically.
I could really
the phrase you
use
want
one of those right
necrotized?
now because I'm missing a fingernail.
You know
You
what? I
are.
actually almost just said, like, Justus, I bet you wish we had that, but I wasn't sure if that would
Well,
be...
we definitely got some rotting fruit over
It's
there.
not rotting. That fruit is still good.
It's been there for months.
It's fine, actually.
Oh, it's
Done with
plastic.
The nanners?
Yeah, the
bananas are fine.
They're not
I mean,
even
I
ripe.
wouldn't
They're
eat-
not even ripe yet.
I
They're not
wouldn't,
even brown.
I wouldn't eat them that way, but
No.
I like green bananas.
Oh
But
my god, but they're crunchy and wrong. They're
I know,
gummy.
I like that. I don't like the
Ugh.
mush.
See, I primarily put them in smoothies where they're best, like,
Oh, mushy
as
is
liquid
good for
as
a
possible.
smoothie, yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Mushy.
But no, if
Smushy.
I'm going to eat a banana, I want it to just barely have left the green stage.
dear God,
Yeah, that's how I like them.
something's wrong with you.
A lot of things are wrong with me, Ames.
But that's a 10 forward.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll just do a 10 forward one. We'll each
You
have our
think-
own.
You think it'll fit in a 10 forward?
Yeah, we'll all have a 10 forward where just the hour is spent figuring out what the fuck is wrong with each of us.
That sounds fun.
Sounds like
Yep.
a really bad idea.
And then afterwards, hours of crying.
Yeah, I was going to say, and then the podcast ends and none of us like each other anymore.
Let's be how we end it. After we finish off, you know, the project in 7 or 8 years or whatever.
It'll never end.
Well, not if CBS has their way.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at my...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, there was a weird bit of continuity involving Troi. Not the fact that she used to be a Romulan for that one time. That makes sense. But at one point, when she's feeling stressed out, she fucking
Yeah,
taps
I
her
saw
neck.
that. I watched her
Yeah,
do
I
that.
I was
know.
like,
It was
of
good.
all things to reference, holy shit.
Yeah.
I thought, like, Troi impersonating that professor was some of the best Troi acting we've seen.
That was fun.
Diana.
I was hoping when she got stressed, she would sit down and write a contract out with her, whatever is stressing her out, to try to, convince it to stop. It's really effective.
Anytime there's a in like every single TV show where there's like time is mostly stopped, like in this they're going like what, like 1/5000th of the speed or something.
Minuscule.
And then somebody moves somebody else. All I can imagine is the person being moved like gets immediate whiplash.
Yeah.
And has like at least one bone snap.
Yeah.
And it's never referenced. And I don't know. I don't know how other people feel about this, but it always drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Is that really something that would happen?
I mean,
You'd think.
let's say I just like I move your arm like this, but it's like an immediate snap.
Because
Yeah.
time is going so slow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're like
Well,
your
listen,
arm
just
would be.
don't touch me.
There's all kinds of problems with this too, right? Like I'm certain that you would probably suffocate because I don't think the air would be moving fast enough around you. I think it would be really hard to walk because
Yeah,
the
but
air
the-
wouldn't move as
But
you
the
walk.
air, yeah, that's the question I have is like, can you move? And I have the same problem when just beaming over places. Like, what if you beam over and it was like raining, and suddenly you have all these rain droplets inside of you? What happens? What happens
think-
to the place where you're being beamed to?
I think you.
Well, I mean, what happens to rain when you're beamed into it normally? Because I assume that would still happen.
That's what she's talking about, I think.
I think that's
I mean, not
just
just in-
waved
not-
away. I think the idea there is that the
Transporter creates a pocket
whatever's
first.
in the space that you need to be in gets removed.
It gets swapped with where you were or something?
Although,
Wait, so you're telling me that the perfect umbrella technology exists and we're not using it?
although there is, I mean, we won't get this for several years, but there is a moment where we see a transport where things share space and it's a bit dodgy.
Oh,
I
joy.
don't remember this.
It's very, I mean, the person lives, they're just fucked up.
You just have a tree branch inside of them now.
Kind of.
Is it too big? It's always too big.
No, it's Enterprise.
Yeah, it's
That's different.
it's just The Fly. We're just gonna watch Cronenberg's The Fly.
Well worth the time.
That is a great movie.
I'd love to see Jeff
never seen
Goldblum
it.
in Star Trek.
You should watch The Fly. The Fly is great.
Also, 'cause I was thinking this too, about back to the like issues with time not moving. It's just like I don't know fuck all about physics, but I was like, should everything be lit up? Like, would the light photons be moving? How does that work?
Well, again, they're
They have those arm bracelets
it
on.
is moving minusculely
True.
like slow, but I mean, so it's not that slow. I think light would still be imperceptibly fast.
Yeah, I mean, because assuming you're moving at the speed of light, you basically ignore time
Yeah.
anyway. So
So, on the Enterprise, the warp core is exploding.
Yep.
Plus, they're being shot at from the Romulan ship.
Yep.
Which would destroy them first? Probably the warp core.
Well,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Romulan,
I hate
the
these
Romulan ship
math
wasn't
problems.
trying to destroy them; it was trying to stop the beam.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Also,
Yeah,
another
because
thing,
those time
another
aliens.
glasses on moment is they said that the energy beam was coming from the main deflector.
It was not.
No, it really
It was coming from the
wasn't.
fucking neck.
Yeah, just some random spot.
God, that annoyed
Listen,
me.
don't get Chris started, okay? Jesus.
But like, yeah, as much as I complain about this episode and all these things, this is a really endearing and enduring mystery. I think
Yeah.
I like the science mystery episodes are always some of my favorite, and this
The
one really
moment
worked.
where you see the ship stuck in time in mid phaser beam looks so goddamn cool.
and like, and,
And
then-
that was, I think, the pitch when this episode was first, pitched.
No, the pitch was, so Picard draws in a cloud.
No, originally it wasn't going to even be the Enterprise until Moore, I want to say, somebody, Braga says, but the Enterprise has to be one of them. Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're like, oh yeah, you're probably
yeah,
right.
because I mean, you wouldn't care about the USS Who Gives a Fuck.
What if it has dilithium?
USS Who Gives a Fuck.
What if it's-
NCC.
what if it's
gold press latinum? Gold press latinum. That's all I want.
It's crewed entirely by hookers.
So yeah, the other
prefer
thing,
the term sex workers
aside from
names.
because I agree, this is a good episode, and
Yeah.
we are being just pedantic with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
science stuff because that's
What?
it's
There's a lot
it
of
is-
science.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
happens.
It's ridiculous to try and pick that apart.
But we're gonna anyway.
True.
Have you met us?
I will say, so this is the first appearance for us of the Runabout class ship,
Yes.
which
It's big.
because they're not shuttles. They're
They're kind of a yacht.
They're,
for lack of a better term.
yeah, but they treat them like starships. They have their own name and registry.
Oh yeah, they do. That's right.
We see, as Chris mentioned, they'll be familiar to television viewers by now because they've been featured on DS9.
And because
lot,
this
yeah.
show is 30 years old.
That's also true.
But even
But
even at
this
the
is
time,
the only
I know.
only time to date. I can't remember if they ever appear again on TNG, but this is the first time we're seeing it.
I don't know if it's true, but I think I read somewhere that they built this whole like little back lounge area set. But this is actually the only time it's ever featured.
Yeah, it's
like not even in
universe-
DS9. They never show it again.
They
It's just in
showed
this
like
one episode
some
of
other
TNG.
areas of the Runabout on DS9, but
Not that one.
not that.
Yeah, I remember watching this episode and being surprised. I was like, I don't remember this area of the runabout.
Yeah, they don't show it on DS9. Which is kind of a shame. It's kind of a nice little spot.
Yeah. Makes me want one.
Yeah. I noticed they have little cubby beds back there too.
Yep. Makes sense if they pseudo longer term kind
Yeah,
of
that's
things.
true. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Very cool.
Have we ever had a good encounter with Romulans?
Well, this one was like they weren't being dicks to each other. They were actually trying
Yeah,
to help each other out.
no.
Oh,
The
that's true.
dicks were people disguised as Romulans.
Yes. Troi.
And that was part of what was so nice about this episode was like you get there and you're like, oh, they said it. They said that the Romulans were gonna try to trick them, and they did. And then it's like, nope, actually,
Yeah.
Actually, these beings put their babies in our fucking engine.
That one poor guy who
God,
looks
if I had
so...
a nickel for
It's
every time
like
that
when
happened.
squirrels build nests in your car.
They're much
no.
more adorable, though. That one poor guy who, like, realized he nearly shot Crusher's like, there was an alien there, oh god!
But how awkward was that flight home where all the Romulans had to be on the Enterprise?
Yeah, seriously.
So, how's everyone doing?
I hear you got some of our defectors.
Do you have any soup?
So, like, why don't you guys have enormous shoulders on your uniforms? It's so much warmer.
I think it looks cool.
When you stand next to each other, we can just be parts of the building.
Do you have a bowl? I need a haircut.
Well, here's a question.
That should have been the season finale.
When they were doing all the walking backwards, were they actually walking backwards, or were they like flipping the filming?
I think it varied. I think there was one shot where Data is walking towards the pool table from the warp core, and there's people walking. That's what they call it. And there's people walking around him. I think that one was actually a shot of Brent Spiner walking backwards and the other actors walking forwards.
Because he just had to go in a straight line, so it would have been easier.
There was another shot, though, where he was at the pool table or about to approach the pool table, and another guy walked past him, and I'm pretty sure that guy was walking backwards. So I think they use various techniques.
Yes,
to
speaking
get
of
that effect.
mime training, I feel like a lot of the, like, extras who had to stay very, very still, it's like, man, they just put a call out for every, like, living statue in Los Angeles.
Some of them were better than others.
That's
Yeah.
true.
But
I
I mean,
was, like, so waiting for someone to just straight up blink, though. They were good about that.
yeah.
I know when you're trying not to blink, it's
Oh, God,
impossible.
it's, yeah, no,
It's
it's...
the
Oh,
hardest.
I was impressed by the one where Troi goes around a corner and suddenly one is there. 'Cause
Yes.
You're thinking, like, that actor would flinch.
That was
Yeah,
actually,
even
that
knowing-
was actually a mannequin.
but even knowing, like, yeah, even though you know she's coming,
Yeah.
you'd
So,
still,
yeah, oh, there
you're
she is
still
again.
gonna be like,
Yep.
nope, that's it.
Fuck.
But
Yeah.
they're-
Take 900.
But yeah, man, the script supervisor must have been sitting there like analyzing every frame to be like, did anybody
Yeah.
blink? Did anybody blink? Did anybody blink?
That's when they just start gluing their eyes open.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Worse than Gary Mitchell.
Oh, God, it's horrible.
Nothing could possibly be worse than
I forgot about the
two
tinfoil
contact lenses
contact.
with fucking tinfoil in.
Oh, my God. That poor prick.
It must have been really.
His prick was
really...
fine. It was his eyes that hurt.
Wow, I don't
They
remember
did
seeing
it to
his
date her
prick
too,
on
but
the
she
show.
was okay.
They actually wrapped that in tinfoil too. Somebody thought it was a burrito.
How?
I
Well.
thought it was a burrito. Way to go, guy!
Burrito means small burrow.
Let's see, what other notes
Yikes.
do I... I don't actually have many notes on this one, because I was tired.
Well, it's hard, and it's also so much. You have to kind of watch it.
Yeah.
And the second you go down to take a note, you realize, fuck, I just missed something important.
Yeah, and that was the thing, like, this is one I know I saw, but I had forgotten, like, I knew it had... I didn't know exactly what was happening, because I, like, alright, they're frozen in time, I know it's got something to do with the Romulan engine, but I don't know what. So I forgot that there were, like, weird time aliens and stuff, so there were still...
You never see what they look like either.
No, that's true.
I mean, they don't look like anything.
You know that they can like disguise themselves as Romulans.
Well,
Like,
they apparently just straight up possess people.
And they look like
Yeah.
were they
skis.
possessed?
Yeah, that's-
One of them
Yeah.
referred to borrowing a body or something.
it's
Oh,
something
I missed
Yeah.
that comment.
Right.
Holy shit, that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, they aren't
Yucky.
shapeshifters. They were just like, ours now.
It's like the Animorphs.
I wonder if they're at all related to the subspace monsters from Schisms.
Ugh, fucking schisms.
All right,
Anyway, if
cool.
we have nothing left on Timescape, I wanted to say one more note from Second Chances
Oh,
that I missed.
Christ.
It's very quick, and I enjoyed it. There was a thought to kill off Commander Will Riker and replace him with Tom.
I read that.
That would have been weird.
If they had done that, Data would become first officer, and
Oh.
Tom would go to ops.
Interesting.
But they nixed that because they were already planning to do movies and wanted Commander Will Riker to be in movies.
Fair enough.
But honestly, that would have made a lot more sense because in the movies they reinvigorate the Troi Riker.
It's true.
affair.
That would have actually made a lot. Yeah. Also, I got to admit, one thing I forgot to say about that episode too was like I was sort of waiting, like, is there going to be a plot where like
They touch dicks? Yes.
no, where
I was
like,
waiting for that
Lieutenant decides fuck this noise and is maybe gonna try to like fake an accident on the planet,
that's
but
what
then
I-
play and then be
That's
like,
what I thought was going to
only
happen.
will now.
Like, I thought that was going to be the whole point of the episode was,
I was
like...
glad it
this
didn't go
loopy...
there.
No, me too, but, like, you know, it's like, oh, this clone, he's been alone on the planet this whole time, he's got to be crazy, and then
Yeah.
nothing, so you're just like,
Yeah, but yeah, this one. Any other thoughts?
No, I liked it a lot.
It's fun.
Yeah, and like I look back on this episode with great fondness.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not one of those ones that you can really talk about much because it's kind of clinical for most of the episode. Like,
Yeah.
you figure out the science mystery, and that's
Yeah.
it's fun to watch, but it doesn't
yeah.
necessarily mean you can discuss it very
Yeah, and
easily.
even knowing, like, again, I forgot the finer points, but even knowing what the reveal was at least kind of going to be, I still enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
Which, you know, because I've seen other episodes before where I've been like, yeah, knowing how this turns out, it actually kind of loses a lot of its muster.
yes.
Yeah, I read...
Anything that's has novelty is a necessity. It's like when you see Anger Management the first time, which is like a terrible example because it's an awful movie, but I love it. But once you've seen it the first time, you know, like, the reveal, and then it's just like, after that.
See, I read the synopsis of Timescape and was like, I have no idea what the fuck is going to happen in this episode because none of this makes any sense to me. And then you watch it and it pieces together more gradually.
Yeah.
And you realize, oh, okay, that's what was going on. Babies in the warp core.
And it's interesting.
This is why you don't have kids. Sorry, Justus.
What's cool is they set it up well. That
I try
it's
and
like,
keep him out of the warp core as much as possible, or
that's
my time shift engine, whatever the
Yeah, how the hell do Romulans decommission their ships if they can't turn the engines off? Did they just literally take them out and put them in a new ship?
Maybe.
there could be that, or just,
Romulans are so inefficient and
like, all right,
weird.
buddy, run off into the sun now.
Oh, dearie dear.
Wouldn't like destroying a Romulan ship like fuck up time everywhere?
It's not. It's an artificial singularity, so it's basically saying this is a tiny black hole.
Okay.
Which seems like a great way. Like, you think it's like, you look at it on paper and you're like, okay, so to power your ships, you take antimatter and matter and smash them together and just barely contain the explosion via a magic crystal. Yeah, pretty much. And you think, well, there can be no dumber way in the galaxy to power a spaceship. The Romulans go, excuse me.
Nice.
It's why the Federation and the Romulans are at complete odds, is because one wants their ship to explode, the other wants their ship to implode immediately. So,
Just if they ever, like, crashed into each other, they just, like, it'd be like nothing ever happened. They'd be, it's like, were there ships
that's
here?
how the Big Bang happened.
The Romulans caused that. Okay. I think we've said everything useful to say about these shows.
Fair enough.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was that. Yeah, okay, cool. So, next time on a start.
Welcome to a Snortus near herby.
Next time on...
Too many writers.
Don't worry, guys. One more season, then Caitlin takes over the outro.
Did you just call me Taitlin?
I hiccuped while I said your name and was hoping no one would notice.
Taitlin.
Caitlin, there we go.
I'm not giving
Old
it
what's
up.
her taint over there?
Our audience will revolt if the intros make any amount of sense.
This is the outro.
Whatever, man.
You got it, dude.
All right, so next time on A Star to Steer Her Side, we will be covering a 2-part episode, Descent. Decent. Indecent.
Indecent
proposal.
proposal.
Yep.
Oh my god! Ames and I are the same person, everybody.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yep. Clearly.
Yes, so we'll be covering
We're like
that.
Riker when he's split in
That's
half.
really exciting. Yeah,
Wrapping season 6.
Yeah, that will also be that is the season 6 finale and the season 7 unfinale. So we'll be doing both of those. Premiere. And then we will be covering doing our top and bottom guys for this season, and that'll be great.
Yeah.
So until then, though, you can continue your Star Trekking adventure online at StarTrek.com/A Star to Steer Her By.
No.
Which is definitely our website.
You can
Absolutely guaranteed.
You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter, where our handle is SSHB Podcast.
So close.
And Tumblr as well,
Nope.
Tumblr.
All of this is still wrong.
Go
Go to Tumblr
SSHB.
/Tumblr.
Podcast. You can find our website page, which is just a link to Tumblr,
I still have to make our MySpace.
at sshbpodcast.com. And of course, you can listen to all of our past 137 episodes by going to SoundCloud, as well as on all the other ones that I usually say, Google and iTunes. And other ones that I don't know. Because I don't
Your
know.
local internet.
Yes.
I bet you could get us at the library, because they have computers at the library. So if you don't have a computer at home, go to the library.
For the love of God, if you're at the library,
If
put
you would
headphones
like,
on.
if you would like
And stop
a
masturbating.
CD, if you would like a CD of any of our episodes, send a self-addressed stamped envelope, as well as $5 to $10. Yeah, $10.
Send $5 to $10.
P.O. Box. We'll let you know what the P.O. Box is next week.
It's got to be 1701.
But
but only if that one's available.
We don't have
you don't
that
seem
one.
to know how post office
We will
boxes
kill the
work.
person that owns it.
You know what? Send us an email at sshb/com.
It's SSH. Wow.
Yeah, you can call us and we will recite the episodes over the phone.
We will recite.
We
Michael Fisher's
definitely will not do that.
1-900. We'll do a 900 number.
Jake,
Ooh.
please wrap up.
1-900, a star to steer her by.
Done. Do it. All right. That's all I got. My name has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
And surprisingly, this is still Justus.
Hooray!
Yay.
Bye.
I love you.
Oh, so the major change due to the Rossi system. We don't summarize all the episodes at the start. We summarize one, chat, summarize the next.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, we probably should have been doing it from the beginning, but at
Probably,
the beginning we weren't doing summaries because we were fools.
Foolish mortals.
Fools with no plan, and that's slightly changed by the fact that now we have a clock.